About a week ago, I made a video where I spoke about this man, Jordan Parler from the United Kingdom, making a post on Facebook where he essentially agreed with the protesters. He essentially said that the protesters should continue to try to take back the country. Jordan Parler's exact words were, "Every man and his dog should target the Britannia Hotel in Seacroft." He also claimed in a comment on Facebook that migrants were given the life of Riley off the tax us hardworking people earn when it could be put to better use. Not too much longer after showing his support for the protesters in the United Kingdom riots, he gets a knock at his door. He goes to open his door. Standing there is a female and a male police officer. Jordan Parler goes to sit on his couch. The female police officer reads him his rights. She also tells him he is in violation of the Communications Act 2003. He's sitting there, he's talking, he's pleading, he's asking questions. They don't even bother responding. They're just staring at him as they put on the gloves. I sort of kind of made a joke in that video when I said, Americans, pay close attention because something like this is also at your back door. Where you make a comment online doesn't necessarily have to be violent in nature, but you make a comment online that may seem like hatred, and then you have police knocking at your door, and then all of a sudden, you are in the middle of a deep cavity searching. You may be sitting on your couch yelling at the police officer, "I thought this was America. I thought this was the United States. We have our freedom of speech, the First Amendment right. What's going on here?" And the police officers, they're not even responding to you. They're just looking at you as they're taking out the gloves. For many Americans in the United States, that's just a dream. That's just a fantasy. Something like that can never happen because, again, they clench onto that First Amendment right. Well, a United Kingdom police commissioner said, F your First Amendment. He said, F your First Amendment right. If you talk out of pocket when it comes to these United Kingdom riots, we're coming at your door with the gloves on. They're not even going to come inside your house and put the gloves on. They will already have the gloves on when they're knocking at your door.
We will throw the full force of the law at people. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
Talk to me about that, because we have seen some high-profile figures whipping up the hatred. You talked about it in there with the officers, in fact, about this being added to by online commentary. I mean, I'm even thinking of the likes of Elon Musk getting involved. What are you considering when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behaviour from behind a keyboard and maybe in a different country?
Being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. You can be guilty of offences of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred. There are numerous terrorist offences regarding the sort of publishing of material. All of those offences are in play if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets, and we will come after those individuals just as we will physically confront on the streets the thugs and the obs who are causing the problems for communities.
And on that note, a lot of this commentary discusses two-tier policing. Where do you stand on that, and what would you like to say to the people who say that you are treating different groups differently when it comes to your policing response?
It's complete nonsense. We have commentators from either end of the political spectrum who like to throw accusations of bias at the police because we stand in the middle, we operate independently under the law without fear or favour. And if you've got crazy views over there, you don't like it, and if you've got crazy views from over there, you don't like it. We will continue to do that. The serious voices who echo those are of more concern to me, because the risk is they legitimise it, and they legitimise the violence that the officers I'm sending on mutual aid today will face on the streets. They are putting them at risk by suggesting that any of those officers are going out with any intent other than to operate without fear or favour in protecting communities.
Are there individuals particularly that you want to name in that? I mean, again,
I don't want to give individuals credit by naming them individually. But if you're a keyboard warrior, you're not safe from the law if you incite violence.
Could even somebody like Elon Musk be considered for something
I'm not
like
going to
that?
get into naming individuals.
And then talk to me about, I know there were frustrations that you were feeling certainly on Monday in regards to an incident with a Sky journalist. I just wondered generally how you found the past week In terms of the stress and the strain that you are under, where does this come in terms of your career? How much pressure?
This is absolutely nuts. This is crazy. Even the reporter's question to the police commissioner is rather strange. When she asked, what is the police force's plan when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behavior from behind the keyboard who may be in a different country? That is when the police commissioner says, being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. Now, even though they do not mention the United States directly as being one of those countries, it is rather apparent they are talking about the United States as well, because they happen to mention Elon Musk being one of those individuals who are causing these problems, who are making these comments online. This question is so strange that I do not believe this question comes from this reporter. I don't believe this question comes from this news agency. This question goes deep into the rabbit hole. This is a soft launch of them letting us know it does not matter what country you're in, whether you are in the Middle East, whether you are in a country in Asia, or you are in the United States where you have your First Amendment right, it does not matter because you will be following one law. This could very well be even a scare tactic, a way to control what people are saying online. The police in the United Kingdom may not even do anything. This could all be a giant bluff, but it's still a way to put fear into people from different countries where they feel like if they were to speak out about what's going on in the United Kingdom, they'll feel like they may be extradited to the United Kingdom and face sentencing and be put to jail. We may even see a couple fake news, a couple fake stories from news and media, how a man from Florida or another state was arrested, was extradited to the United Kingdom for making posts online. And once again, those fake stories are meant to put fear into you and to control what you're saying online. I better stop making comments about these riots in the United Kingdom, or I'm going to end up like Jimmy Dean's in Florida, where he was extradited for making these exact same comments. So that's how they're going to control and stop people from talking about what's going on in other countries. But at the end of the day, it does not matter whether this is fake, real, or not. If your country is in the United Nations, you will be following the 2030 agenda. The 2030 agenda is a set of rules, it's a set of policies, a set of laws that all countries do have to follow. What happens to be wild on top of this, in the exact same month on August 7th, we had news articles coming out where they were saying majority of Americans believe the First Amendment goes too far. According to a new poll by the nonprofit Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, or FIRE, they found out that a majority of Americans, or 53% of Americans, believe the First Amendment goes too far in the rights it protects. These pollsters found out that a majority of Americans believe that Americans have too much freedom of speech and they should be dialing it down. Not only that, not only do a majority of Americans believe that Americans have too much freedom of speech, but also evidently 1 out of every 2 Americans wishes they had fewer civil liberties. Many of them reject the right to assemble, to have a free press, and to petition the government. Additionally, the report states that 69% of those surveyed believe the country is on the wrong track regarding free speech. Only 5% believe their rights are completely secure, and 12% believe not secure at all. Approximately 65% of respondents have some level of trust in the government to fairly decide on what speech is considered threatening or indecent. However, only 32% said they were not at all comfortable with the government limiting free speech. Well, that's not suspect timing. That is not suspect timing at all, considering everything that's going on in the United Kingdom currently. Who knows if this even is a real poll? Probably not. But again, it's to show us that there are people, supposedly people, that want the government to step in the United States to control what we say. If this is a real poll, maybe 65% of those who surveyed saw the video of that police officer, that female police officer, and said to themselves, I want that action. I want that glove action. I have been lonely for way too long now, and that is the kind of action I need. Because that's the only thing that I can think of That makes sense. That's the only thought process that makes sense when it comes to this poll. Who in their right mind would want the government, the United States government, to continue to limit what they say in already a time where we are all walking on eggshells? So don't think that the United States will be the only country where you can say anything online and the police will not come knocking at your door. Very, very crazy times we are living in. Even if this is an empty threat from this police commissioner, it's still something rather crazy to see a police commissioner say in another country in reference to citizens in the United States. But in any case, I do want to hear from you. Has this changed the way you will say things online? Or do you not care because of your First Amendment right here in the United States? Please do comment in the comment section below. In any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.